6-7, a nice bank. Anytime the balls are in close quarters like that, sometimes it's hard to get the line.
Yeah, could have done with the cue ball running a bit further on the previous shot. It would have made it a good deal more straightforward, but he's played
Anytime
it well.
the balls are in close quarters like that,
I feel he's got
it's
to
hard
win
to get
now.
the line.
Oh. Well, we're running out of things to say about some of these unexpected misses. Yeah, could have done with the cue ball running a bit. That's what's really going to hurt Mickey Krause the most. If he ends up losing this match, but he's played it well. He's really been his own undoing.
Quarters like that,
I feel he's got to win now.
Yeah, even when the pull guards may be on the other player's side.
Oh.
This is overhit by a long ways. This has got to slow down.
We're running out of things to say about some of these unexpected misses.
Could have done with the cue ball running a bit.
That's what's really going to hurt Mickey Krause the most. If he ends up losing his match, he's played it well. He's really been his own undoing.
Quarters away,
I
still feel like it was on me. Even when the pull guards may be on the other player's side.
Oh,
he's using the 6 here. Long ways. Hold the cue ball. All right, big decision. What do you do with the cue ball if you are attacking? Well, he's banking this cross corner.
Well, we've seen it happen a few times, haven't we, in this match, where on both sides players have got off the hook after expected mistakes. Maybe it's going to happen again here.
Yeah, like Mickey's shot on the bank in the last rack that was a little odd. Felt like it was a little odd having to hit it softly and with spin and whatnot. I think the same thing there. I think Souto really, you got to look at the safety here and there. I know they don't want to play safe, and I certainly get it, but there was definitely many safeties on offer.
So Mickey Krause needed a good shot to get on the 3 ball. He played it, then very unexpectedly missed the 3. But just when it looked as though Souto might get to a lead where he'd be all but out of sight, Krause was let back into the rack. And he's taken it. Still in this at 8-4 down.
If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
It looked as though Mickey Krause was going to have to win 8 of the last 9 racks when he missed this 3 ball. But then, Jonas Souto handed the initiative back to him, missing the 5 ball. And Jeremy, this time it was Mickey's turn to get off the hook.
Yes, it was. And again, I may have looked at the safety there on the 5. I know hindsight's 20/20, but you know, Mickey's obviously struggling and a lot of pressure on him there.
Thank you. The 13th rack, Mickey Krause to break. Trailing by 8 racks to 4.
And when we get back to it, the break is what gets these guys going, and it hasn't been there for Mickey so far. There's the one on the side. The 2's going to get up near the corner. It's probably going to fall. Got a little bit of a tester here to start rack 13. Looks like he's going to swing the cue ball. That was a nice opener on the red 3. The red 3's been an issue for him at times in the last couple days. Got to get the speed right here. It looks really good. It's nice when you fall with that little bit of an angle, but not too much. Now you can just roll forward for the green 6 in the lower left.
One of the more notable turnarounds we've seen in a high-profile occasion over the last 12 months came on the opening night of the Reyes Cup when Europe were 4-0 down in the opening team match and came back to beat Team Asia by 5 racks to 4. And of course, it was Mickey Krause who got that off and running with his win over Ko Pin Yi. So positive memories to draw on. But hang on, what's happening here?
Yeah, that type of shot, when you're stunning 2 rails, you really have to capture the speed, recognize where the balls are at. Now he's got to elevate. A great recovery there. He made that look easy. That little shot on the 7, I'll tell you, if given the opportunity, can go a long ways for this comeback.
Just the first hint of a bit of momentum for Mickey Krause if this 9 goes down. Because he's now won 3 of the last 4 racks. And he trailed 7-2. It's back within striking range now at 8-5. Yeah, ultimately it was a very disappointing week for Mickey Krause and his European teammates at the Reyes Cup. He was then part of the Mosconi Cup team, first Dane ever to play in that, in Orlando just before Christmas. He did win a doubles match with Francisco Sanchez Ruiz against Skylar Woodward and Shane Van Boning, but lost his other doubles and both singles. And that is Tyler Steyer, who was part of that American team in Orlando last year. Continuing the preparations for his first major semi-final, which is coming up quite shortly now, against Aloysius Yap, the former US Open runner-up from Singapore. And there you can see Yap, as ever, working hard with his own lead up to that match. Massive week for Tyler Steyer. He had that great win over Joshua Filler, played so well in it, and then coming through in a dramatic finish against Viktor Zielinski last night. Never been further than the last 16 of one of these events before, remember.
The 14th rack.
Major matchroom event. Here he is now in the semi-finals. Back to this semi though. Mickey Krause, 3 behind.
Yeah, that one ball hit way low on the side pocket. Souto's going to have a look, but look where this one ball hit. Man, good ball, 2 balls width below the side. 9 ball didn't move. Cue ball went upstairs, so that usually means it was a little thick of a hit on the 1. Now he can cut this in the side, but is there any path to run the cue ball for the blue 2? Can he get to the left side of the green 6 off the bottom cushion? This is going to be all right.
Suddenly this feels like a very big rack, because all through the match we've been used to Souto being in a strong position. Has been 5 racks clear at one stage, and Krause was to win another one here. Suddenly it's 8-6, and then, well, it's anyone's match from there. But a chance to keep that possibility at bay here.
Yeah, huge rack. Great shot on the 1. A nice reward off the 6 to gain that position on the 2. Yeah, I was wondering about his tip position there, Michael. And this is a very fortunate roll if he got the look for the lower right. Yeah, fortunate to dress up on the 4 ball. Now he's got to work to get from the 5 to the 6. A lot of angle here. Does he go back and forth? I think so.
Well, it did collide with the 9, but only very slightly. So all good. Still work to be done.
Yeah, definitely still work, but what a confident stroke on the purple 5. It's made up for that positional error on the pink. Caught that a little thick. Just going to get into position, but he's a little thinner on the 8 than it looks here on your screen.
So Mickey Krause came up dry from the break for the first time in the match. Jonas Souto has put together a very impressive rack, reasserting himself, and now just a couple away from a place in the final. He leads 9-5. And last night he was just rampant in that match against Shaw, Jeremy. But it's been very impressive today from Souto, the way every time he's had a little psychological test, either through something he's done himself, a mistake he's made, or through Krause coming back at him a bit, he keeps responding, just as he did there.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's obviously had those matches where he's cruised. The scores have told us that, but not bad to have a little bit of a scrappy match where you got to pick things up after a few mistakes. Maybe not all just breaking runs, a lot of tactical play, and just that variety is not going to hurt.
If he can go on to win the title, suddenly we're going to be talking about him in a Mosconi context, and you just feel he'd thrive on that environment. Just through his personality and his manner, but you think back to that World Cup where he played for the Spain B team in Lugo the summer before last.
Jonas with the break.
2 matches there, wonderful atmosphere in the arena, and he was right at the heart of the party. 2 to go to get to the final, and he's made the 1 in the side this time. Oh, this could be very nice.
Yeah, the 4 has gotten a little funny, but the 3 is very accessible. Obviously a good look at the blue 2. So even though the 4-7 is not easy, I like his chances of getting out here. He's played a few banks already. Maybe a bank on the pink here in a couple shots. Especially the bank isn't that bad because the purple 5's over the upper right corner. I'm not sure what he's looking at here. Can he get thin enough to come 2 cushions at the pink? I don't think so. Have to really edge this in the side. Oh, he did. He did. Really good stuff there. Now, he doesn't have to elevate here. Just roll this ball in. Well, he's got a little more angle, so he may elevate to hold the cue ball.
We said this in the match against Shaw last night. You're trying to achieve something you've not done before. Last night it was trying to get to a semi-final. Today it's trying to get to a final. You've got to cross that line once you've made it to the hill, and that can present its own psychological challenges. But surely those challenges are diminished a lot if you can get to the hill with a big lead.
Yeah, Michael, and that's why we always talk about those. And they're not small by any means. They're just smaller than the majors, but that's why you can't replace those matches and all those different scenarios and different things you're going to feel, and it's setting you up for these moments. A little stun back and forth.
Great time to put in a rack like this. Mickey Krause looked like he was trying to start a bit of a fight back. Jonas Souto has nipped it in the bud. He only needs one more. Krause is going to have to win half a dozen in a row.
If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone. If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
Well, if you fancy a second screen perhaps this afternoon, there's a big day of Super Sunday action for you. Nottingham Forest host Leicester City. That's live now on Sky Sports Premier League. Kickoffs at 2:15. Forest are in the hunt for European football next season. Then at 4:15 this afternoon, attention turns to Anfield as the champions host Arsenal.
Thank you. It's rack 16. Jonas Souto is breaking on the hill, leading by 10 racks to 5.
Well, you see Liverpool versus Arsenal in May, you think of Mickey Thomas back in 1989. Mickey Krause needs a similar miracle today.
Well, he's going to have a chance. It's 10-5 down. He's got a good look after the dry break. That'll be the last time we see Souto break the balls here in the semifinal.
He's really stepped it up though, hasn't he? Heading towards the line. 3 of the last 5 racks that he's won have been breaking runs. Hadn't had any prior to that.
Foul stroke. It's ball in it.
And that one got all lost. And I don't know if you noticed it, Michael, but he was down on the ball a long time right there. Abnormally long, I felt anyways.
Yeah, I'd never suggest for a moment that Mickey Krause would throw in the towel in any way. Of course he wouldn't, but it's hard not to see that as the shot of a beaten man.
Yeah, and these balls are open. 2, 3, 4. And then everything to end will be on the bottom half of the table, so usually means it's hard to make a mistake for these great players once he gets on the purple 5. All right, this is really probably the last shot that has a little in it, and that's 2 rails between the 6 and 8 off the purple 5.
Well, he made a couple of mistakes early on. You think of those 2 elementary 7 balls that he missed. He also missed a ball when he had a good chance to go 5-0 in front, but he's done so well to put it all behind him, and as I said, towards the end of the match, this has turned into a very good performance. And you think of how these big open events are played in 2 phases, really. You've got the double elimination phase to get through to single elimination, which is the final 64. He's become very adept at doing that in recent times. Last time he did it was last time out at the European Open. He went no further. He lost 10-0 in his next match to Naoki Oi. But what a difference a couple of months have made for Jonas Souto. Because he has defeated Mickey Krause by 11 racks to 5. We've seen David O'Cady and Francisco Sanchez Ruiz winning major titles in recent years on the World 9-Ball Tour. Well, now there could be another man taking one of those back to Spain. Jonas Souto, with what turned into a very convincing display, has got another comfortable win to his name. He's won by half a dozen clear racks in the end, and he will be back later today, hoping to dance his way to the UK Open title. Well, let's look at the numbers, Jeremy, surrounding this match. A lot of missed pots in there, and I think the big thing early on was how surprising some of them were. But as we said, towards the end of the match, Souto had really moved on from that and was looking very sharp towards the finish.
Yeah, absolutely. 0 missed pots last night, but 5. But look at the long pot success. That's the one that I would look at that's okay. Because I can excuse a few of those misses thinking he just kind of overlooked it, took it for granted. It wasn't really flinchy or some kind of nervy misses, in my opinion anyways. But Mickey Krause, another great tournament, just was a little bit off his game, and Souto was there to punish.
So it will not be Mickey Krause winning the title, and that means we will have a first-time winner of a Matchroom Major later today. It might be this man. He's talking to Ashley.
Well, congratulations, our first UK Open finalist, everyone, Jonas Souto. You can see from your face just how pleased you are to have got through that match. Talk us through that one.
Yeah, it wasn't my best match, if I'm honest, because I missed like 100 balls, I don't know. But yeah, I think the rolls is on my way. You know, Mickey also, he did a couple wrong shots, and he also made a couple mistakes. But yeah, I'm enjoying, when I take the confidence, I'm just enjoying the game. So if I get the confidence, nobody can stop me, if I'm honest with you.
Fighting talk there. Now, clearly you had a strong start, 4-0 up. Then, like you just mentioned, there was a few mistakes from both sides today, but you managed to put those to one side and stay focused.
Yeah, of course, I miss a lot of balls. So after my balls, I say why I miss. I analyze why I miss. I went to the chair, think positive. Next chance, I try to take it. I did it, and I win.
And what does it feel like to beat someone like Mickey Krause? I know you've got history. You used to play together when you were kids. So to meet on a table like this is something different.
Yeah, of course, I have respect, totally respect for him. You know, finally, he's a monster. He just won European Open last year. So yeah, we are really good friends. You know, sometimes he's gonna win, sometimes I'm gonna win. We're gonna play for the next 20 years, so that's okay.
Well, we're pleased to hear that. What happens between now and the final later today?
I'm gonna win, or try.
Try and relax in the meantime. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Brilliant to hear from Jonas Souto there. Already got his mind on the final, hasn't he? And it's fighting talk already. So we have our first UK Open finalist for 2025. The question is, who's going to meet him? We'll find out after the break.
Let's move, let me knock it up. Not got a limit, no obstacle. Up in the middle, gotta heat it up. Got a taste for the game, now I eat it up. We crazy, it's how we live it. Nobody told me.
player wins the first round. Rack 2. Trying to stay at 3. Leading 1 rack 2. Foul. Ball in hand. Please start the clock.